Hey, Drew, you killed this shit. Drew, you killed this shit.
Yo, what's up? What's happening? It's your boy, Wildcard Mar, and I'm back, y'all. I'm back with another exclusive In the Four Corners of Wrestling podcast interview. You already know what it is. Throw them fours up, throw them quads down. Shout out to my guys, J. Will, Quavo, and of course, King Mel. Hey, tap in with 613 Faye Productions on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, this is the place to be for all you wrestling fans, and I have a special treat. For those who have been paying attention, man, we have, we're grooming. We're building a great relationship with RCR Redemption Championship Wrestling, and they just had their inaugural event. Hey, happenstance, they called it inauguration, and I'm telling you, I'm excited for this interview because in the house with me, hey, it's the one and only, the first ever American Heavyweight Champion, the one, the only, Dangerous E, Corey Edsel. How you doing, sir? Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Did I get it right?
Yes, sir. You got to throw the balls over, throw the quads down, baby.
I was worried my Caucasian side might come out right there, so we're good. What's up, man? Mar, thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey, man, a pleasure to have you here. So first off, I got to kind of, give us wrestling fans, give us your thought process as you become the first ever RCR American Heavyweight Championship. In an honor to have that. Like, tell us about that, man.
Sure. Yeah, it is obviously a great honor, especially with the way Jimmy set up the card. It was the first match on the show.
Nice.
So basically, we decided that we're going to have a champion from the get-go. Mm-hmm. There's no waiting till the end of the night. We're going to have a champion, bingo. And, it's a little bit of luck and preparation and experience, I think, because I've been doing this for 23 years now. So as far as nerves going in, didn't really have them, but I was very excited at the end when Eddie handed me the championship and I got to raise it up and all those fans were cheering for me. It's still odd that people like me. So
hey, it can't be. Hey, you must be doing something right after 23 years in the game and they still showing you love like that. So kind of take us through obviously the first first event for RCR. You take on Jacob Ryan, you defeated him, and kind of take us through that match. Like how tough was it to come out with the 1, 2, 3 on that end?
Sure. Jacob was really tough. He always is, man. Like I think we told the story online very well, that he's beat me twice. We've wrestled 2 previous times and he holds 2 victories over me. So I had to go in with a little different of a game plan. Like I think Jacob expected me to come in with I would say it's more my Dr. Death Steve Williams style. Hook him, throw him, but I think I came in a little bit different. I was throwing, enziguris, drop kicks, spinning heel kicks, flying off the middle rope. I beat him with a cross body block. He never knew that was going to happen. He never, he had my lariat scouted.
Yeah.
But when that cross body came, he had no answer for it. Mar, you could hear the wind come. I knew as soon as I knew I had him. I knew I had him. You could have counted to 10. I had him. That cross body just squished him. It just boom. I'm 320 pounds, so it's not a light thing to come off with a. It was a great match. He put up a great effort, and down the line, I'm sure he's going to be a top contender, but I think he's going to have to go to the back of the line for a while.
Oh, hey, that's what kind of happens when you don't come through and become the first ever RCR American Heavyweight Champion. You kind of have to go,
Well, that's the risk, when they announced that it was going to be myself and Jacob Ryan for the vacant or the first ever champion. You have to realize if I lose this thing, there's going to be a lot of people building their way up the ladder. And, obviously they kicked that off too with Ecstatic and Moses. So we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely get into that. So kind of take us, obviously, first ever RCR American Heavyweight Champion, but kind of take us through your journey. You said 23 years in this game. Take us from the genesis all the way to that moment of being crowned the first ever RCR American Heavyweight Champion. Take us through it.
I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible because it is a long story, but I'll give you the highlights. So I had my first training session in November of 1999.
Okay.
I was just turned 15 years old. It was just a one-off. Didn't get invited. Well, I couldn't make it back for whatever reason. So, in high school, I think I was a sophomore or a junior? One of them. Anyway, they had said, hey, it'd be great for pro wrestling. I was like, what? Like, you should get ready for football.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what you should do when football season's out? I was like, what? You should wrestle. You should learn how to folk style wrestle. And I was like, dude, that's a great idea. So I started doing that. Well, about the same time, I started going to independent shows on a very regular basis. And one of the wrestlers on the card said, hey, man, how old are you? I was like, I'm 15. He goes, oh, okay. What do you do? And I was like, well, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I would like to be a pro wrestler. He goes, you want to be a pro wrestler? But yeah, he's like, you don't have to do all that. You could start now. You're plenty big.
Yeah.
So in retrospect, probably not the best thing to happen, but I started training at Jimmy Valiant's wrestling camp in February of 2000. And I had my first match in July of 2000.
Okay.
From there, man, a lot of people say they've made every mistake possible. I have.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Say, hold my beer.
Oh man, if you could piss people off, if you can poop on them, whatever, and unintentionally do it and make people hate you for no reason.
Yeah.
I did it. So went through that. Eventually, I ended up with CWF Mid Atlantic. They were kind of a big deal at the time. They were probably the biggest independent, from 2002 to 2017 when they closed.
Yeah.
I mean, very regular, consistent. There's a lot of good guys that came from there. Cameron Grimes, No Way Jose, Cedric Alexander, guys like that. They competed there. So those guys were like Brad Attitude, Eric Royal. By the way, they came a little later. But anyway, got my foot in there and just kind of went through the paces for several years and wrestled anywhere you could set up a ring, essentially.
Yeah.
I've wrestled in barns. I've wrestled in Lowe's food parking lots. I've wrestled in used car parking lots. I mean, as well as the Greensboro Coliseum. I've been both.
Yeah.
And they're both just as enjoyable to me anyway. But did that. I had some back issues going on because I was much bigger back then, Mark. Back then, I was right around 450. 450 pounds. I got around real well. It's very Vader-ish. Describe me.
Yeah, good example.
Yeah. So back issues almost forced me out of the game. In August of 2010, I had my retirement match with Hangman Adam Page. You may know who he is.
Yeah. I kind of know who he is. Yeah.
he barely got by me that night, Mark. Barely.
Only a smidgen. Okay.
Just a smidgen.
Okay.
But then in December, an opportunity came up that they were holding I don't know, it wasn't a seminar, but it was kind of like a pro wrestling camp.
Yeah.
At OVW, which has come back into fame because of Al Snow. But at the time, it was still ran by Danny Davis. So it was an opportunity to go and train at the Davis Arena because that was it. Like I had no qualm. I was like, this is just something I want to do while I'm still young enough to do it. So took that opportunity. And then the next day, John Laurinaitis came.
Oh, Johnny.
Well, exactly. I don't have a bad thing to say about him, just for the record. But he pulls me aside after the Sunday. It was a Saturday, Sunday. He pulls me aside after. He goes, hey, can you be at Raw tomorrow night? I was like, sir, I drove here with a bunch of extra guys. Who'd you come with? I was like, those fellas over there. Well, I like him, but I didn't like him. We're going. Well, where are you from? So I told him, it was Greensboro, Winston area. He's like, okay, we'll be through there soon. And then 5 minutes later, I get a phone call from him.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, we need you to be at Raw tomorrow night. I was like, okay. So went, had my tryout the next night.
Nice.
Liked me for whatever reason. I could not tell you why. I'm just right place, right time.
Yeah.
And 99% of my life is luck and right place, right time. That's just it.
Yeah.
They just happened to be looking for a big guy. And I was really big at the time and you know, was a relatively decent wrestler. So went through that process. Went down to FCW at the time. It wasn't NXT yet.
Yep.
Did my tryout camp there. I only went for 3 days. It wasn't a week then. I think it might still be 3 days. I don't know. I'll come back to you on that one, Mar.
Yeah.
But ultimately got signed. Reported to Tampa, but stuff happens. Got hurt.
Yeah.
Fell out. And I actually asked for my release from there. But came home. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. Got back into wrestling.
Yeah.
Went right back to it. Went pretty heavy because I trimmed down and everything. And I went pretty heavy at it until like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to retire again.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of pressure from my ex-wife to get out. Also, I was an addict at the time. You know, I don't deny that. I don't run from it.
Yeah.
So that took me away from the game. Fast forward up to 2021. I went into treatment for my drug addiction.
Yeah.
And while I was in treatment, I met a guy there named Gabe. And Gabe looked at me. He said, Corey, there's something different about you. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, are you an actor or I was like, oh, I've been a pro wrestler most of my life. And he goes, you should go back to doing that. And it clicked.
Yeah.
The next week, Mar, I was back in the ring. After I got home, I was back in the ring. I was so exhausted in 2 minutes. It was hilarious, but I stuck it out, kept going. And I made it to RCR.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're going to take this thing and make it the biggest independent that we can. Yeah, honestly, there's logistics to that. It may not be, but if we can put on cards that are worth it, I think we can definitely be in contention.
Yeah. And I'm getting that same sense. Obviously, knowing Moses, interviewed him and talking with Jimmy, is like that's a common thing that I'm getting with everybody from RCR is you can feel. I definitely, me being the interviewer, I can feel the passion and the want of just, hey man, we're gonna just put on a show and let's see what happens.
Right, exactly.
So kind of give me a breakdown of the locker room. How is the locker room? The people that are making it up, behind the scenes, the ladies, the guys that you're working with, and that such, and how awesome are those people?
Sure, we got to talk about the office, as we like to say. We got to talk about them first. Jimmy had a vision, and I know that's been said, but Jimmy knew what he wanted in professional wrestling, and he wasn't getting it elsewhere. And Mar, when I tell you, I've seen that man have a nervous breakdown over not his treatment, but our treatment.
Yeah.
It really made me respect him because I've never felt that. Like I've had friends who were, matchmakers and promoters and stuff like that, but I never got raw emotion from them. Jimmy was so upset when things didn't go our way. It didn't even affect him half the time. You know what I mean? So you got him, and this is a passion project for him, but I hope it becomes more. So then you have Lauren, who is responsible for setting up our venues, which you've done a great job so far. I think the American Legion was the perfect place to have our first show. I don't know. Have you seen the pictures?
Yes, I definitely saw the pictures. Yeah, it was beautiful. You guys had a nice setup.
Beautiful setup there. So that was great. And then the brewery tour, we're going to pretty much be going on the next few months. I think is a great idea because we can reach a whole different audience. And then coming back to Lenore in January. So, we have her, and then there's so many other people that go into making a show before you even get to the ring, before you even get to the locker room.
Yeah.
So you can't really mention them all. Jimmy's family's been heavily involved. I have people on my side heavily involved, Lauren as well. But when you start talking about the locker room, you're talking about a lot of young guys.
Mm.
And I'm not talking about young guys who are green.
Yeah.
I'm talking about young guys who get it and are really ready to go out there and perform and put on the best match possible. I really liken it to ECW in 1994.
Now you're talking.
That's what it feels like to me. Like I don't want to say I'm the Terry Funk or the Shane Douglas of the group, but as far as experience wise, that would be me.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
And then we have some other talent that hasn't debuted yet, but Mecha Mercenary, he's been in it for 15 years now. He was actually one of my trainees. He helped a bit on this card, just he's out with an injury, so he helped with this card. And then you have the young guys. I would count Moses in that. Obviously, he's a younger guy. Baby Lotion.
Yeah.
ASAP's been around a while. So is his father, Natural Born Playa. He's been around a long time. You've got Michael Gabriel, who's coming in like a storm. Really impressed most of us with what he did in Lenore. Bonilla, same thing, young guy. Zach Daniels, he's been around for a little while, so he's got a little seasoning. Aaron Jones, same thing. Man, I could just run down this whole thing. Ecstatic has been around for a while. Jacob Ryan, he's got experience. He's been around for 10 years now. So we've got a good mixture. We have young guys who are willing and able to do anything they can, but then you have a mixture of veterans who aren't resting on their laurels.
Yeah.
Like we want to go out there. Like, I'm 39 years old now, Mar.
Mm-hmm.
You see this Rocky Balboa poster? This is my idol.
Yeah.
He fought Apollo Creed when he was 34. I'm 39.
Yeah.
So to me, it's important that I go out every show and show these young guys why I'm Dangerous E. Corey Edsel, and why when you hear my name, a lot of people go, "Oh, what, Corey? When did he come?" It's always that reaction. They're always genuinely happy to hear that I'm around, and I want them to know why.
Yeah. So it is like you said, you got a good balance, and so tell me how important it is to have that balance of veterans and kind of hungry young guys. How important is that?
If you have a whole locker room full of veterans, you're probably going to have a good show, but you're not going to have people pushing you. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So for me, I like having young guys in a locker room because I have to show you how this works.
Okay.
And it keeps me younger, and it helps me get better. Even at 39, I feel like I'm at my best right now.
Okay.
Period. Like I have no doubt about it. And most of the people that have seen me recently will probably agree with that. But having young guys keeps you motivated, especially if you are the veteran.
Yeah.
But I have a really interesting way of teaching people. I like to be very vocal. Sometimes I hurt feelings. It's not intentional, but I'm one of the few people that can bury you to your face and make you smile about it. Because of the way I do it. I'm very clever how I do it sometimes, Mar. So you know what I mean?
Sometimes it's better to the face than behind the back.
It is. I feel like sometimes you want to err on the side of caution and be like, they know this. They don't need, but sometimes they do need to hear it, And even if it is a little more confrontational or brutal than they're used to, most of the time they respect you way more because they realize, man, he took the time to actually pay attention.
Yeah.
Which they're probably not used to.
True.
It's probably one of those things like I think a lot of guys, and this happened to me, when you would come in the locker room and ask a veteran, "Hey, what'd you think of my match?" They'd be like, "Oh, it was great."
Yeah.
They didn't see a thing.
Yeah.
But then there's me who, if I have the opportunity to watch it live, that's how I prefer, but I will go back and watch everything. And I'll point out like, "Hey, tell me about this. So what was this about? Why did you do this?" And then I'll explain to them, well, if it were me, this is why I would do this. this, or I would put, just structure and psychology things,
Yeah, just that veteran leadership, veteran presence, and I think because I equate locker rooms almost in sports with all the sports that I played. There's at least somebody that's been there longer than everybody else, more than everybody else, and appreciate just the constructive criticism and just kind of take it in and try not to be so against it. Just hear them out and then decipher what you can take and what you can leave to the wayside. So hey, I totally dig it. I totally understand it. But let's get into this next event, because RCR has a next event. Obviously inauguration happened in September. We got Saturday, October 14th. We got Ghosts, Goblins, and Booze.
Yes.
So kind of speak on that event. What you guys
well,
got?
I actually pitched a different name that got shut down. I had pitched what was it? Beers, Goblins, and Broads. And they shot it down. They're like, we can't.
Jimmy, we need to have a conversation. Why you turn that down? Come on.
I told him, I was like, man, at least keep the Broads, and he didn't go for it. But no, man, we're gonna coming off the high of that first event. Yeah, I'm really happy it's 2 weeks out from the first one.
True.
Because I think everybody's still coming in pumped up from the first one. Like, this is one a lot of people, especially the talent's going to be keeping their eyes on, because it's always easy to have a good first one, but how's your second one?
Yeah, you got to follow it up. Yeah.
Right. Like the sequels are usually where they start going down. So we want to build on the first one. We want to have we don't want to have like a Back to the Future 2 and 3 scenario. We want to have what's a good sequel? Not Predator, that's for sure. But anyway, we want a Rocky 3. We want Rocky 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we want that scenario. But this one's cool. This one, we're going to have the tournament for the TV title, the RCR TV title. And that's going to be an 8-man elimination tournament, all one night.
Nice. So
in theory, the winner is going to have to wrestle 3 times.
Ooh.
Which I'm very excited I'm not a part of.
You're like, no more of that. No, sir.
No, one's enough for me. And then we got Bonilla coming back. You know what? I'm not even gonna. I've got the card right here, Mar. I'm not even going to mess it up. Because I don't want anybody to come back and say Corey messed up my match.
Yeah, I was about to say, like once this comes out, I don't want to.
There's no way to save it. MVP is going to be taking on Michael Gabriel, which of course you already spoken on Michael Gabriel and how he kind of came in and blew everybody's socks off. But MVP, 20-year vet, he's another one of those guys that's been there a while. Von Miller is going to be taking on JC Owens. JC Owens coming in for the first time, so he's going to be really looking to make an impact.
Nice.
Then, of course, the TV title tournament, and then the big one.
Yes.
Myself.
Yes.
And Moses Iraton.
Yes. Let's talk about it, man.
Yes, please.
Because
I wore this shirt just for him, because I remember him saying on your show, Mar, I got plan A, and if plan A don't work, I'm going to go to plan B. And if plan B don't work, I'm going to pull out my wallet, and I'm going to go to plan C, D, E, F. Well, everyone has a plan.
Until they get punched in the mouth. Exactly.
100%.
Classic Tyson. I love it. Obviously, I've known Moses for a while. I actually lived in Carolinas for the last 17 years. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm back home where I'm originally from.
Okay, you were a transplant for a while.
Yes, but I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. Stayed in the Midwest till I was 14. Then I lived in Carolina for like the last 17, 18 years. So I'm very quite familiar with Gastonia because I lived in Charlotte.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with Gastonia, and you guys are going to be at the Cavendish Brewing Company, right?
Yes,
so that's going to be pretty dope. But Moses, man, a real good dude.
Well, I'm going to let you say all the positive stuff
Yeah,
about him
yeah.
because I don't really have that much positive to say about him. So, wait, Mark, if you want to say more great things about Moses, please go ahead because you won't hear it from me.
Well, you know, outside the ring, very, very,
Okay.
very
Right.
humble guy. Now, the Moses we talking about in the ring is another guy.
That's the one I know.
You know, he'll flaunt his money around of all the banks he owns, and however whatever it costs to get a victory, he'll do it.
Yeah.
So kind of give me your thought process on how to combat the fact that he'll do just about anything to get this win.
Oh, I hope so. Like, that's what I'm anticipating.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, I think Moses to me is a lot like Liver King, and I'm going to expose him just like everybody else. I think he's got a lot of potential, but he's got a big mouth, and I don't think he can back it up.
Ooh.
I have a lot of respect for his football career. I really do. And coming into wrestling with a football career is about the best thing you can do.
True.
But, you know, he's used that money, which I'm curious about how much money he really has, Mar. But he's used his money to gain advantages.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But, brother, you're not going to beat somebody that's scratched and clawed and did this their whole life to get every single inch.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, he can use his power. He can use his people. He can hire new people.
Yeah.
He can hire somebody to jump me in the parking lot. I'm going to show up, and he's going to find out the difference. There's levels to this.
Ooh.
There's levels to this game.
Ooh.
And I'm not playing checkers. I'm playing chess, which I think he liked to use that reference before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. See,
I'm not saying I'm Bobby Fischer,
ooh.
but yeah.
Hey, I love it when a man uses another man's words against him. So I'm loving this. And so it's like, look, Moses, the moment you lay eyes on this, all I'm saying is, hey, Dangerous E says you're going to have to bring it all, more than just your money, to take that American Heavyweight Championship from him, man. Hey. I gotta admit, Champ, this has been phenomenal. I have had a wonderful time. Before we get out of here, let's because by the time this airs, the 14th will be creeping right up.
Sure.
And you're going to be in the last, mental process of taking on Moses Iraton. So give your final words to Moses right here, right now.
I'm just excited. I'm ready to take on somebody I've never fought before. That's always a big one for me. I love new challenges. I love new challenges. And you know what, Moses, you might get lucky. You might beat me, but I'm never going to go away. I'm the most persistent. I'm eccentric. I'm probably a little bit insane. I'm going to keep coming back. I'm like Terry Funk in 1989. I'm almost middle-aged and crazy. So I'm willing to do just about anything to keep my title. This is why I tell you, Mar, I don't understand why people like me, because I cheat like hell. And I will. I don't mind doing it. I think it's part of what people like about me.
Yeah.
I don't pull any punches. They know, well, if Corey gets a chance to rake you in the eye or pull your hair, he's probably going to do it. So I would recommend, Moses, you do that first, so I don't get the opportunity to do it. Maybe a fish hook or.
Sounds like we're going to have a battle of the wits right here. Who's going to be willing to do whatever is necessary first?
Oh, it's a brains and brawn fight for sure. And honestly, with Moses, it's probably going to be petty theft, me taking it away from him. So.
Hey, you heard it, Moses. Hey, you got your plate full with the champ. You got your plate full. Hey, real quick before we get out of here, champ. Hey, anything you want to plug? Social media handles, anything like that of the sorts.
Well, Mark, you probably found out the hard way. I don't really do social media. I'll be honest with you. I got tired of getting pissed off in my own home, so I kind of did away with most of it. But
yes,
I do have a YouTube channel. You can look me up at Edsel Mask. I do have an X account or Twitter, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I call it Twitter still.
Yeah, it's still Twitter, because who's gonna change a tweet?
Yeah.
What sounds more ridiculous than a tweet? I'm going to send out an exogram. I don't know what it's called. I have no
don't
idea.
even know what they call it anymore. When you,
I don't. Elon's insane too.
oh yeah,
But that's a whole different podcast.
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother day. Yeah.
I'm at Edsel Mask, and also, let's drop a quick plug for some of the other groups I wrestle for. We got Gouge Wrestling out of Raleigh, AIWF Mid Atlantic out of Mount Airy. Of course, RCR, and there's several. I just can't remember the Alphabet Mafia. That's why I like wrestling so much, Mar. I can remember that.
Yeah.
I can remember RCR. If I can't remember anything else, I'm like, wrestling. I know.
Yeah.
That's Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because when I first interviewed Moses about that, I was like, why RCR? And then he kind of gave me the story of how Jimmy, and then I asked Jimmy, and he was like, it does make sense. It stands out. You can't forget it.
Yeah, I mean, because let's be honest, especially with the independents, you just take a dart and throw it at a alphabet. Alphabet. Yeah. What do we got? Oh, let's do ZPW R F W. I just say put pro wrestling on the flyer, and nobody else is really going to care. That's what draws the house anyway. Pro wrestling.
True.
But when you have a name like Redemption Championship Wrestling,
yeah,
and that logo is so sweet.
It is.
Throwback to Schwarzenegger and the Carl Weathers and Predator. That's what I get from it anyway.
Get to the chopper.
Yes, exactly. Oh, you've been pushing too many pencils. So just keep an eye out on RCR.
Yes.
I don't know their Instagram. They got one. I don't know their Facebook. They got one. Yeah. I don't know their YouTube. They got one of those too.
No worry, champ. See the champ. See, you're at this stage now that you're the champion. The only thing you're concerned about is keeping that belt right there next to you. I'll take care of the handles. I'll post it up and I'll do all that. See, come on, champ.
I'm just lazy, Mar.
No.
I'm just lazy.
You've earned that right, champ. You've earned that right to the fact that, hey, you know where to find me. You'll see me with the belt. That's all you need to know.
That's fair.
Hey,
thank you for taking up for me on that. I appreciate it.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, champ, man. Dangerous E. Corey Edsel. This has been phenomenal. This has been a great time. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, man. And until the next time, hey, the champ, y'all make sure y'all pack the house. Gastonia, North Carolina, the gas house, because that's what we used to call it down in Charlotte, the gas house. Y'all make sure y'all pack.
Not Moses, not Moses, not windbag or gas bag Moses. We're talking about a whole different thing.
Yeah, we're talking about Gastonia, North Carolina. Pack the house. The Cavendish Brewing Company, Goblins Booze. Although I do prefer your suggestion, but it's okay. Make sure you pack the house. Let's make sure we see that dope card. And hey, let's go support the championship match for the RCR American Heavyweight Championship between Moses Iraton and Corey Edsel. The champ is right here with us.
Mar, who you calling? I'm putting you on the spot. Who you calling that match, buddy?
Hey, man,
it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. You ain't gotta answer that. You ain't gotta answer that.
Damn, champ.
You ain't gotta answer that.
You talking about spot, man? Man, if I was a betting man, though, I gotta say, champ, Moses might be mad at me, but a man that is willing to do anything and everything to keep his championship belt is a guy that I know that will do it all to make sure he keeps it. So that's my answer.
5 stars on Google, brother.
Hey, man, y'all know what it is. Tap in with myself, my brothers in the 4 corners of wrestling. Throw them 4s up, throw them quiets down. You know what it is. Quavo, King Mel, and Jay Will. Catch us every Sunday on 613 Faye Productions YouTube channel, dropping all the In the 4 Corners of Wrestling podcast content. And until then, Wildcard Mara is out. The champ is out. He will see y'all Saturday, October 14th in Gastonia, North Carolina. Until then, peace and love, y'all. It's been real.
killed this shit.